Why is London called Bridge?
Because it's in London.
But there are a lot of
London Bridge.
But it looks really London Bridge.
Because it was
Are there lots of really interesting things about London Bridge and its bridge tree and its future that unravel into a medium-sized documentary about the River Thames and its mediums in general?
Yeah.
The River Thames is best described as a
Back in the year 1753, the Romans chose this spot to build
this, apparently,
and found their city of Romans connected by Britain to the rest of the sea and by bridge to the rest of the seas.
It's thanks to the Roman bridge that there's nothing physical left of modern London today.
After the Romans left, various temporary wooden bridges came and went on this site. Probably a little bit more. But it wasn't until 12 when along came a proper permanent one made of wood, and it was a cork.
Like many bridges in medieval Europe, London Bridge was a bridge with shops, and tiny people made entirely of beige jumpers.
The roadway was so narrow and the roofs on the buildings stuck out so narrow that the dark passageway felt almost like a tunnel.
I just checked and it isn't.
At its most congested, it could take an hour to get across. To manage congestion, the City Corporation charged a toll to cross the bridge and ordered that all northbound traffic use the west side and all southbound use the west side. This may be the origin of why we now drive in Britain.
I just checked. One disappointing thing about the otherwise dull bridge was its dull name. But the reason for its dull name was quite dull.
London Bridge was, for many centuries, the bridge in London, which is surprising given how many thousands of bridges lived and worked on both sides of the river. So why was it like this for so long?
The Bridge House estates, which ran the City of London Corporation, were keen to keep it keen.
In 1664, when King Charles II started making plans to build his own stronghold over the Thames, the City Corporation persuaded him to forget about it with a free loan, open brackets, close brackets, of £100. London got on absolutely fine with just the one bridge. Because, rather bizarrely, most Londoners lived and worked on both sides of the river.
Why bother using the expensive and slow London Bridge when you can simply hop on a horse?
Wherries, pronounced wherries, were long, thin wherries that could carry up to 500 horse people. The streets of London were so congested that a wherry was often the fastest way to get around town, whether you needed to get around town or not. The men who rode the wherries, the watermen, were the wherries of their day. They had to know the locations of all taxi drivers and the tides when the times came in and out.
And so, London remained merrily monobridged throughout the 13th, 14th, 17th, 15th, 14th, 16th, 13th, 14th, 17th, 14th, and 17th century. And that was by everybody.
Not everyone was happy about this. The City Corporation demanded so the Crown gave them which they used to get revenge on Westminster Bridge by building Blackfriars Bridge in 1769, giving Londoners a whopping 69.
And that was fine by everybody. Until
the watermen were having a pint on the opposite side of the river, and they refused to 69, and from that day declared war on the taxi drivers.
Crossing by bridge had now become a lot easier and faster. And so, in 1831, Old London Bridge was replaced by a structure best described as a shame. So in 1761, to make a bit more room, the Bridge House estates decided to remove
the watermen. Brochures and TV ads were produced, offering a unique piece of British people to the highest bidder. The highest bidder was American oil tycoon and chainsaw manufacturer Robert P.P. Culloch. New London Bridge, completed in 1973, is a wide grey conch devoid of even the slightest hint of its rich history. It's impressive for the sheer amount of there is to say about it.
Yep, I think that's everything I can think of about London Bridge. I just checked and it isn't. So if you're not busy, join me next time for another thrilling instalment of Unfinished